Welcome to episode 29 of Dissent into the Wormhole, where we discuss everything from ancient civilization to modern day social issues and everything in between. I'm Les.
And I'm Stevie J, and today we're going to have a look at our movies predicting our future. So a very interesting one. Grab that coffee, set the cruise control, and let's dive right into it. Lots of movies, lots of predictions.
Yeah, may also want to grab tinfoil hat or two, because there's some things that just can't be explained.
Exactly. I'm wearing my tinfoil hat today because, well, I kind of have it handy all the time, really. But it's firmly, snugly on today. And
I'm always wearing my tinfoil hat. You never know when they're trying to get into your brain. You never know.
Exactly. And it's valuable, right? Like you need to protect that stuff. You can't let them in. So
no, exactly.
We should bring out a product line of tinfoil hats, I feel.
I think you're a genius.
It would be awesome. They have to be super stylish, of course, just like us.
Oh, of course.
So humble. Well, but you did find a list with this of movies that are noted as predicting stuff in the future.
Yeah.
Was there any particular one you wanted to kick off with today?
Well, I think one that's really didn't really tell us. I don't know. It's the Truman Show, because we are the Truman Show at this moment in time.
Yeah.
So many people, because not everyone wants to broadcast their lives, but a lot of people seem to think that broadcasting their lives is going to be interesting. And for a lot of other people, it is interesting. I don't understand, like reality TV, and you have people vlogging their day. You know, you got YouTube channels that say, what's in my purse? Like all of these things that honestly, I don't understand. But it's cool. Just because I don't understand it doesn't mean it's not cool. But the Truman Show, like everyone was just like, this poor guy, he's being monitored and everyone's kind of playing along into his world. Like this world is his and everyone's here to cater to him. Maybe that's why a lot of people think that everyone's here to cater to them. Did we actually enter into the Truman Show when we're unaware of it?
Maybe. We could be in a giant ass dome. But you're spot on. Like if people, and like you said, each to their own. If people want to log on and see someone taking a dump every day, well, that's up to you. Not for me, but that's up to you. But you're so right. But did the Truman Show also? I feel like it also, when you combine all that social media stuff, the vlogging and the YouTubing and the I feel like they did do a pretty accurate job, because the other thing that was massive in the Truman Show was the advertising and the product placement.
Yes.
So, remember when he's trying to have a conversation with his wife and she's like, you should try some of these. They're fantastic. And it's like, he literally is like, well, who are you talking to? Like, who are you talking to? What are you doing? Yeah.
What's going on?
You're ridiculous. And I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But it did predict that as well.
Yeah. And look where we are.
Mm-hmm.
Look where we are.
Yeah, well, any social media platform is based on advertising.
Yeah.
All of it. So
that's how everyone makes their money.
Mm-hmm.
I think they nailed it. Yeah. I think they absolutely nailed it. And instead of one guy unknowingly being the reality TV guy, we're going into it knowingly, and we're willingly going into it. And I am sure somewhere in the far reaches of society, the people that actually control us, there is a mass computer room with nothing but screens, and all they got to do is type up your employee number, your little employee number that you got assigned to you when you were born. You're like, I want to check up on this person and watch every single thing that we do. I have no doubt.
Oh, absolutely. I'm with you 100%. Like, Edward Snowden even talked about it, and we might touch on him a little later, but he talked about how they turn your camera phones on. Like, webcams, everything. Like, it's not even far-fetched. It's actually just true, and it probably is even far deeper than what we know or what we've seen exposed. So, yeah, it's spot on. And the other thing too is, what I find out, you're right, like everyone's diving headfirst into this with their social media and stuff, but like knowingly. But the thing that they don't know or don't care to realize is that the intent behind it is never really made all that public. Like the true intent of the advertising. Like you don't see people go, oh, I can't wait to get my new, my Instagram account because then I can allow these advertisers to make heaps of money. People don't say that.
No.
They go, oh, I want to get on there and share all my stuff and my things and my stuff. And then they don't, think about what it actually is doing and who it's actually benefiting. Much like the Truman Show where, Ed Harris is sitting up in the moon and he's got, like, they do it well. And Ed Harris is a great actor, but they do it well in the sense that, like, he almost does have this connection with Truman as if, like, he's a father of his.
Yeah.
And he does have an emotional connection to him, but he's so hell-bent on keeping the show going that he'll put Truman through all of these horrible things to get what he wants in the end.
Yeah.
Well, if that ain't today, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
The governments, governments and big tech will put us through anything.
Oh, and they're proving it today.
Mm-hmm.
They'll do anything, absolutely anything.
Yeah.
And they don't care.
Nope.
As long as they get what they need, they just don't care.
Exactly.
So the Truman Show, I feel they nailed it.
Yep, agreed.
This next one, Minority Report.
Oof. What a doozy.
Yeah, what do you think about this one?
Well, I feel like this one could almost have its own segment, its own episode. But like for people who haven't seen Minority Report, the basic premise of Minority Report is Tom Cruise is a cop, basically, and they have these beings who can predict the future, and people get arrested based on their future crimes. So things they haven't done yet, but these precognitive beings are used to say, yep, this person's going to commit this murder in 10 days' time. And the police go and arrest them pre-crime. So essentially crime is eliminated, but there's also corruption in that too, in that can the precogs be corrupted? And they are, and they get corrupted. What's the morality of arresting somebody before they've actually done anything wrong? And also more advertising. So they subtly predict. You notice in a few of the scenes that Tom Cruise walks through like a foyer or a lobby, and all these things while he's walking through, all these ads that are specific to him pop up, and they're like, you need one of these and one of those and one of these and one of those. Very, very eerie, and we're not far from that, I feel.
No, we're not far from that. And actually, like that does not, people aren't like holograms are not popping up out of the floor yet. But we've all experienced it where I could tell you, hey, I want, I don't know, these pair of shoes. Let's just say that. And next thing you know, I'm getting all these ads and pop-ups for these shoes. And all I did was mention it to be fleeting in a fleeting conversation.
Yeah.
So they're constantly listening so they can target market. And that was just a really in your way face of showing how it's done.
Yeah.
But it's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just because there's people not popping out of the floor does not mean that that's not happening. Like they're spending billions of dollars learning how we function and how we move in order to upsell us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, because, and of course, the reason why they do that is because there's a million ads out there, million products, billions of products. There's just endless products. And
too many products.
Way too many. And what good is it to just throw every product in every person's face? Because, if the products they throw in my face are shit I don't care about, which is most of it, but the things I don't care about, I don't care. I'll just completely ignore it. And it's a waste of their time. So listening in and figuring out what people actually want and then putting that in their face gives them a much better chance of getting those sales. But it's also a pain in the ass as well. Like to have all that. And from a moral standpoint, it's wrong, really. It's wrong for them to be listening. It's wrong for them to be watching. It's wrong for them to be doing all of that and collecting all that data on us.
Well, could you imagine if I turned around and I wanted to, let's say, your cousin, I wanted more information on your cousin. So I tapped into their phone and I started listening and all of these things. How quickly would I be arrested?
Oh, instantly.
Instantly.
Yeah.
Now, would that be before or after I actually did the crime? Because when you talk, because when you talk about pre-arresting people, yeah, it may stop crime, but at the same time, reality shifts with every decision we make. It's constantly shifting. So with every decision we make, there could be 1,000 different versions of us that could have happened out of that one decision. Yeah. If only I made this one decision, how different would my life be? We've all got that moment in time where like, I should have made a different decision, but here I am. So to pre-arrest someone for something that they potentially thought of, because let me tell you, pretty sure 90% of us would have been arrested immediately for just having the thought of doing something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So and it's.
Well, I
don't know. It's. But in the same sense, right now, I feel in the public online space, you are guilty until proven innocent. And then it's questionable then. Even then it's questionable.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like, I don't know what's worse. Guilty before you even did anything. Like either way, you're guilty. Either way, you're guilty just because someone else said so. Like the cogs, they said so you're guilty.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as the cogs might as well be online people.
Yes. Yeah, just deciding based on kind of nothing. And well, yeah, and that's a good point because the whole arresting people before the crime, to me, there's also a paradox in there, time paradox as well. Because would said person, and like you said, reality shifts with every decision, would said person have committed crime if there was nothing said about it in the beginning? Like what happened? So the very fact that these precogs exist, like maybe what was happening in the beginning of this was people were being told, oh, you're going to commit this crime. And what that did was start a chain reaction of events and actions that actually led to that crime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like telling someone, and they do say it with the internet and social media, like telling someone, don't watch this. And what are they going to do? They go watch it, right?
Yeah.
So in that similar sort of sense, could this have started a chain reaction that led to that crime being committed? And they were never going to really do it anyway off their own. But
yeah.
So I don't know. It is a very good movie to look at all of these different theories and the morality of it. I do find that that's the big one. And in a lot of these examples, the morality is a huge one because, okay, you've got this information that says this may happen, but it hasn't happened. And what gives you the right to take away someone's freedom based on something that hasn't happened? And putting all of your eggs in one basket and saying that the integrity exists in this institution or in these people or in this, why would we trust them?
Yeah. You just got me thinking, you just got my brain going down quite the rabbit hole or the wormhole, if you will, of who are we to trust these people? And they're already pre-locking us up because they said so. I just had like this flash of that we don't know what could happen tomorrow. And this could happen because our freedoms are already taken away.
Right.
Like our freedoms have already been taken away over something we didn't do.
Yeah.
We didn't ask for it. We didn't want it. None of it. And I don't know. Are they trying to keep us inside, to keep us watching TV, to subliminally tell us that, what are they preparing us for? And it makes me worried when people get their freedoms taken away or their rights taken away just because someone else said so.
Yeah.
Like it's terrifying now. It's terrifying now
really
to know how easy it could happen.
Yep. Well, and the other thing that terrifies me is how easy everyone just goes along with it. I have to say, like, it's terrifying to me because I see that stuff happen and I go, what the hell? How could you be doing that? Like, how could this be a law or a rule or a whatever? Like, doesn't make any sense. But then I turn around and people are pointing at me like I'm the idiot, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
No, come on. You really you're not buying into this, right? Like,
right.
Oh, well, my government told me that this is the best thing that we need to do, and we're going to do it. And I'm like, well, that's fine. Like, everyone can make their own decisions. But the difference is, like, people like me, like you, and like, we just want to make our own decisions and live without the consequences of those decisions. But other people want to force us to make their decision. It's like they walk around going, well, it's the right thing to do, and my decision is the right one, and you need to make it too. Like, whoa, pump the brakes. Yeah. Ease up, turbo. You do what you want to do. Let me do what I want to do.
Yeah.
But it's not really...
And I will deal with the consequences. Yes. So if the consequences were... So if we look back to the arresting people before they actually did something.
Yeah.
What if you're interfering in the cosmic movement?
Ooh.
What if you're interfering with that? And what if us interfering with just freedom in general and telling people what to do is interfering? And I think that's where a lot of people get like we are getting bunched up because our souls are being suffocated because we're not here living out our true soul's purpose. We're here doing what other people want us to do.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have, these precogs coming in saying, you can't do this because you were going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing happening now. You can't do this because you were going to do X, Y, and Z. Yeah. Your actions were going to cause X, Y, and Z. It's like, well, you didn't know that.
Yeah.
You didn't know that.
Yep. And let's not forget, like you said before, we didn't start this damn thing.
We did not start the fire.
We did not. No matches, nothing.
Billy Joel may have.
The great man. Well, you're spot on. So with that whole, I just had this thought on it when you said that. So we didn't start it. We're doing it. They want us to do all of these things. They want to arrest us before we've done something, right?
Right.
Because we're going to do this. Well, what about this scenario? So old mate kidnaps somebody.
Yeah.
Brings up their family member and says, you know what? I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to this person unless you give me whatever it is, whatever. Let's say million.
Okay, so it's a Taken movie.
It's Taken, right? It's Taken. Okay. But Liam Neeson's not available. Okay, so it's your everyday guy.
That's unfortunate.
It is. Good luck. So anyway, this person goes and kills the kidnapper, takes their family member back.
Yeah.
Well, that's their plan, right? The precog says, go arrest that guy. He's going to kill that person. He's going to kill somebody. He gets arrested, and then the innocent person who was kidnapped gets killed.
Wouldn't the precogs already catch the kidnapper?
That's my question. That's my question. Did they? And and who gets to decide what's right or wrong in terms of, was this guy doing it for the right reason? Did he actually mean to kill that person, or was it an accident when he was just trying to get his loved one back, or what? Like self-defense? When does that come into it?
I want to move back a few things when you said, who decides what's right or wrong?
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely right. Who decides? Because the government, they're people just like us. I have no right to say what's right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I know what's right or wrong for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For me and me only, but for everybody else, I don't know. I don't know what's best for you.
Yeah.
That's on you. And so to have a government society coming in saying, well, you were going to do this thing and it's wrong. It's like, well, maybe wrong to you, but perfectly logical to me.
Yeah.
And I don't see a problem with it.
Exactly. And that's where it all comes down to subjective decisions.
Yeah.
Because, what's good for me, and you can put this on any scale you like. You can put it from food, what foods and everything people like, what's your favorite colors, all the way up to what we're talking about here. Worldwide scale, legal events, laws, wars, whatever you want to say, it's all subjective.
Yeah.
All subjective. But that's the key question to all of this. Who decides? Who gets to decide?
Wow. That was a great one, but to go all the way, like to go through all that, just to say roundabout right back to the beginning, who are they to decide? Who are these precogs to decide?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I feel that we're living in it. I feel that we're there. Yeah. So the next one is Back to the Future, the second one.
Right.
Where they came to, so all three. Honestly, those are the movies I could watch over and over and over again. I remember going to watch the first one in the theaters when it first came out. I was young, obviously. And my dad took me to see it. And I think we went to the theater like 3 times to see it. Like that's how much he loved it. And then it's just, I don't know. It's just I think it's one of the only movie like trilogies that I'll actually go back to over and over again. Like if I got nothing to do, I'm like, I'm in the mood. I got to do it. You've seen it so many goddamn times.
But you can watch them. You can watch them over and over and over and over again. And I remember first time I watched it, I think was on VHS with my brothers.
Oh man.
I am. I'm also fat. I'm a fat old man. So watching it with my brothers, and once we watched it, like once, as in all of them, all the 3 of them, we had to buy the box set and we had to watch it over and over and over. We had these box sets that we would do that with, right? So there was Back to the Future, Indiana Jones, and Star Wars were the 3 big ones. We would just watch over and over and over again. Watch all of them. But Back to the Future was so good. So it still is. It still is so bloody good.
Still is.
But they predicted, now Back to the Future 2 was cool because, especially back then, because it was still decades away.
Oh, yeah.
Before we were going to get to 2015 where they went to. And it was cool as, hoverboards and all that stuff. But really what they predicted, or one of the things that they predicted pretty accurately, was the Cubs winning the World Series.
Yeah. What are the odds?
In the movie, you remember, the guy tells him, the Cubs won the World Series. And he's like, what? No way.
Yeah, it's like, this is impossible.
Please.
Yeah, exactly.
This can't be real. And then it happened.
Yeah. 1 year later, 2016, they did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And apparently those automatic lace-up shoes that they had, apparently those are a thing. Like a lot of the things that they thought of are actually, they've tried. They've tried to do it. I guess there just wasn't a huge market for it.
Right. Yeah.
But they've done a lot of them.
Do you know what I always wanted? Especially when I was younger. Do you know what I always wanted? I wanted one of those little dehydrated pizzas. I just wanted to. They're so cute. A little pizza and slot it into the oven.
And it comes
out big.
Oh, you and your little things.
Oh, the little things really do amuse me.
They really do. But also, they had FaceTime. They had Skype and FaceTime.
Yes, they did.
And that obviously is, here we are. Here we are.
Right now.
Right here. Yeah. Doing it. We're doing it. And that was it's just on your TV. And everyone's like, what? No way. How cool is that? And I don't even think we realize how cool it is that we can do this. Right.
You're right. We should have a moment of appreciation. And I said this to you before, it's a love-hate relationship with technology for me. Love this, hate so much of it. This is fantastic, not the rest, or not a lot of it. You know,
me with the rest. Yeah.
Yeah. But you're right. We should appreciate that we have the ability to do this because it's pretty cool. And Back to the Future was all over it.
Oh, absolutely. So thank you, Back to the Future.
Thanks, Marty McFly and Doc.
Now, the cable guy, when they said you will have you'll have everything attached to each other, like everything, you will be so connected.
Yeah.
Did they know? Did they know when they were writing this movie that they knew that every single thing, name me somewhere where we're not connected?
It's a struggle. Well, it stands to reason too. You know, like then they make fun of it in movies and shows these days, like about Schitt's Creek comes to mind. You know, when he's like they rock up to the town, and the kids, of course, that have been rich and everything are like, "Where's the Wi-Fi? I need Wi-Fi." Like, you know, and so it's that same thing. But you're right. In reality, it is. Everyone now expects to be connected everywhere. Yes. Yeah. And all the time. It's like sorry, you go. I was just going to say emails and stuff as well. Like, but
we expect it, and until you said it, I didn't realize how much I do expect it.
Yeah, we do, but we fall into it. Like, and you know, we can say here, just newsflash to everybody, like we're not perfect. Like. We're pretty damn close, but we're not perfect.
I was going to say, speak for yourself, man. Like, that's cool. You want to be humble and shit, but come on.
But we don't like your kind around here. but it is very easy to fall into the trap of the constant communication. Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the whole cycle of it all because you know, we still have to exist as much as we don't like it and we don't agree and we you know, it's a pain in the ass a lot of the time. We still are in that cycle and we have to exist in the world, in the reality that we're in right now. So, you know, it might sound hypocritical of us with some of the things that we've said in the past to say, well, we message and we email and we, you know, all these things, but we do have to exist and this is the reality we live in right now. But for me, to be honest, I actually much prefer what it was back in the 80s or you know, where you just phone on the wall, and if someone's home, they're home. If they're not, they're not. That's it. Done.
Yep.
There's no like, well, geez, I tried them at home. I better try. And then it went to they're not home. Oh, I can try their mobile. And now it's like, okay, they're not home. I tried ringing their mobile. I tried texting. I've tried their Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. I've DM'd them on WhatsApp, Facebook. Like, it's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Maybe they just can't talk right now.
Or maybe they just don't want to talk to you right now. Like and that's just it. I think we've also gotten into with the connection is that we automatically just assume that people should just be available for us.
Right.
Like we really have, like, I don't know about you, but I have definitely received some messages that are very presumptuous that I would just drop everything to do what this person wanted and got very irate when I didn't do it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I never said I would.
Yeah.
I never said, just because you sent a message asking me to does not mean shit.
Like, honestly. It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. And I like what you said quite a few times, which is no is a full sentence. So
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Accept that.
Yeah.
Accept that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sort of brought this weird kind of, like this technology's brought sort of this weird shift in manners, I want to say, like a shift in manners, respect for people's time, and human interaction, I guess, overall has been somewhat diluted and corrupted by social media because people can communicate in a sense that's just safe, I guess. In a lot of ways, like they can say things and do things that they normally wouldn't do. Like in your example, would that person who was sent very demanding messages and such, if they were in person, would they actually be there yelling at you, like going, "Do this for me now"? Like some people would, but like the majority wouldn't.
No, and that's just it. We're hiding behind this veil. And I have actually been lucky enough to have had someone berate over a DM and then ended up in the same Zoom call with them, with other people as well. And lo and behold, they were silent. Silent.
Yes.
Quiet as a church mouse. I'm like, this is interesting because you're very loud and very vocal and you tell me exactly where to go and what to do, but you get me face to face and you're sheepish.
Yeah.
So we've just gotten too used to hiding behind that and then not realizing that quite possibly there's a chance you could end up in front of this person and then what are you going to say? So I always be nice to people. You don't have to like everybody. Just be nice to people. Yeah. And saying no is nice. We're going to have a whole nother podcast on that. But no is still being nice because it's being nice to me.
Yes. Well, that's right. And it takes nothing. It takes nothing really to just be nice.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like you actually do feel better yourself when you actually say no because you feel true to yourself. You're not saying yes when you mean no. We're not saying no when you mean yes. And like all of those things, it feels much, much better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Cable Guy, he nailed it when he said we're all going to be connected. It would integrate television, phone, and computer. And they probably did already have the infrastructure in place when that happened.
Yeah.
So
I would say so.
The next one, Enemy of the State.
Ooh, and I forgot about this. I forgot about this movie, but damn, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Damn, it is a good one. And, this was 1998, I think. Enemy of the State came out. And Edward Snowden's CIA whistleblowing happened in 2013. So, this stuff, I feel like it's partly, some of these movies that we're talking about are partly prediction and they're partly bits of truth being revealed in film. Right. So Enemy of the State, and it's funny to think the mindset when people watched Enemy of the State when it first came out, it was very much like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy. They would never do that. How insane. Oh, they're doing it.
Yeah. How insane is it now?
Exactly. But
isn't it funny how when it's in a movie, we're like, holy crap, I can't believe someone even thought about that. But when it actually happens, we're like, it's actually happened. Like the shock and appall is not the same from, when in real life, the shock and appall should be the shock and appall other than, it's just a movie. Right? Yeah. Like,
exactly.
No shock and appall, it's just a movie.
And that's
what you realize it was real.
Exactly. It's definitely not at a blinky level, I feel.
No, it's not.
And that's where we get into the predictive programming. So predictive programming, for anybody who wants to know, is basically where movies get put out that have things in them, themes, technologies, whatever it might be, ideologies that are going to be coming soon in reality, and the movie's there to program us to get us ready for that, to accept it, so that we don't have this big like, oh my gosh, what the fuck? So when it comes around, we're like, oh yeah, like in our mind, subconsciously, we've seen it in a movie. And yes, we've said, oh, that's bullshit. That'll never happen. But in our minds, we've still seen it and it's still gone through our heads. And so when it happens in reality, like you said as well, then people go, oh yeah, I guess, that was always going to happen. Yeah. Like, no, it shouldn't.
And depending on how many times you watch the movie too, because our brains don't know the difference between our brains don't know the difference honestly between a movie and what happens in what we experience in our reality. It doesn't know the difference. Yeah. So it depends on how many times you've watched it too. So we'll notice that a lot of these movies are movies that have been watched over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Like they're not just a one and done. People watch them so many times over. So the more you've actually experienced it, when it actually happens, your brain's already experienced it. So there is no shock.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah,
because
that's right.
In your reality, it's already happened. It's just another thing. It's just another thing.
Yep. No, you're so right. Well, with that too, I wanted to touch on the emotions that they attach to films, and so with with that whole thing of realities, yes, of course, our reality is just a perception, and a movie's the same. Mm-hmm. So when we see the movie happening, our brains, our subconscious doesn't know the difference. And the other thing that they do really well in movies too is they tie emotions to that reality and what's going on in that. And so some of I feel like there's three main emotions that they inspire or that they evoke films. Now, one's like Enemy of the State, and a lot of the ones like that we've talked about, the emotion is fear. So, but you've got fear, sadness, and happiness. They're the three main emotions. And I sort of interchange happiness with inspiration because they're sort of the same thing, but those are the three emotions that movies evoke. And so when you attach that emotion to something like Enemy of the State, you're saying, okay, this essentially is reality. Like this will be reality soon. And here's your chance to be afraid in this moment while you're sitting in your couch at home. And part of you is still thinking that it's fake. So you can process that fear now. And so when it comes in and it is actually reality, you won't be as afraid of it. Therefore, you'll be more receptive to it.
You're a genius.
Well, I have moments. You know, I do fall over sometimes.
You're absolutely right.
I do fall over sometimes putting my underwear on, but hey, I'll take
it. We can't be perfect at everything, right? Sorry.
At least I'm wearing underwear.
Exactly. That's true. That's true.
Let's take a win here.
But you're absolutely right, because that fear, they want that fear, because once you have people in fear, they're controllable. Because you get them into fear and you're like, look, I have a solution. Then they flock to the solution. So yeah. And especially if it's something like that, like surveillance, public surveillance of everybody, that's terrifying. But once it came out, people were like,
yeah,
okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So Edward Snowden's whistleblowing of 2013 should have absolutely had people in the streets just so upset and angry and irate about the rights that were being violated and taken away, and the invasion of privacy. But it was kind of like, oh, okay, that's happening. Okay.
Yeah.
What?
Why is that?
What? Like, oh my gosh, are people so tied up in their day-to-day lives, so focused on, well, I could focus on that, but I've really got to get back to work and slave away for this company that I don't really care about, but I have to because otherwise I have no job and I can't pay my rent, and then I'm out. And then I'm on the street. So people are so distracted by all of that, they don't give themselves time to even just think for a second, just a second. It's just so wrong.
Well, I don't know if it's people per se. I think it could be that society trickling down from the top down, from the head of the fish, because the fish rots from the head down. They're filtering and they're telling us what to focus on. This costs this much, and you have to have this much, and you got to go work. And if you don't work, you're going to, all of these things. So when things like this do come up, that the top tier has already got everyone so head down, just trying to survive, just trying to get through that day, trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to pay my bills, put gas in the car, and feed the kids? How am I going to do all of these things when I have $0?
Yeah.
So when we're focused on all of those things, society has us head down, just trying to survive. So when these things happen, it's just a blip. It's like, okay, yeah, it's great. It's too bad, but it's great. I got to focus on feeding the kids right now.
100%. Yeah.
They've designed it that way.
Yeah.
But more and more people are starting to poke their heads out of the sand.
Yes.
More and more people are starting to become very much more aware of what's going on. And I don't think that what's happening now, I don't think they anticipated that.
No, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
And there is although they're very censored, there is a positive to, another positive to platforms such as this and social media and stuff like that, because it can give people another voice. Now, if you're big enough and you have enough of influence over the advertising, because that's what it is, if you have enough influence over the advertising space, then you can say more without being silenced. So, Joe Rogan is a great example. He's got millions and millions and millions of subscribers and followers and listeners and all of those things. And so they can't afford to shut him down because of the millions they make off him. Now, but the thing is, he can still say what he wants to say because that's why he's popular. So it's like it gets into this other cycle of, okay, well, I like that much better. And people, I think there was I don't want to quote this, but I saw a survey or a discussion about Joe Rogan and mainstream news in America and who is more trusted. And Joe Rogan won hands down.
Yeah,
hands
Joe
down.
is more trusted.
More trusted than the mainstream media. And that's all you need to know. But I feel like there is a ray of hope there. Like you said, more people poking their heads out of the sand. The more Joe Rogans we get, the Russell Brands, the guys like this, who will share the truth but are able to get it out to a larger platform and a larger audience is so important. And the more that we get like that, the better. Absolutely the better.
Absolutely. Because people, and the thing is that you want to, like if I only had 10 minutes today, only 10 minutes to pop my head out and say, okay, like take a look around what's going on. Who would I rather listen to? Would I rather listen to Russell Brand or would I rather listen to, I don't know, my prime minister?
Right.
Russell, hands down.
Oh,
if I only had 10 minutes, that's who I'm listening to.
Of course. But I prefer, and that's just it. Like, I'd rather trust somebody who says, like Russell Brand says, I don't know the answer, but I want to talk about it from both, like from all angles. I want to talk about it. I have far more trust in that person than I do in the person coming out in the front of the media saying, everybody who believes this has got an unacceptable opinion. Okay, you're unacceptable. Like, no. You don't have any trust, any faith from me when you speak like that.
No, and especially when you say things like unacceptable views.
Right, unacceptable views and unacceptable opinions. And we come back to that Minority Report thing. Who freaking decides, Justin?
Yep. Looking at you, Justin.
Looking at you, Jussie boy. Who decides? Because these numbnuts making the decisions also change their ideas and change their opinions. So,
and we're gonna do a coverage on the Freedom Rally, the truck convoy that ran through Canada, because political leaders did change their mind when it comes to truckers and what we think of them. So. Hey everyone, so we didn't realize how long we were actually recording for, so we're going to split this episode into two. So this is the end of part 1, and we will pick it up and continue on next week at Descent into the Wormhole. We just hope that everyone is happy and smiling and everyone had a great week. Take care, guys.